I mean, I want to thank you for doing this with me. I'm really excited about it because it's my first in-person interview about this topic that we call kundalini activation process, KAP. And you're looking very intensely in my eyes. I have no questions prepared. And honestly, I have questions at home that I did write out, but I didn't bring them with me. So I guess I was supposed to ask them. But I wanted to ask you, when you heard about KAP, what did you think of it?
I had no idea what it was before, and so once I heard about KAP, I was like, what is it? What happens there, and what kind of thing is this? Is this like? Because I knew about kundalini, but I didn't like. I remember going to these workshops and like in Ghent, and they had like kundalini, and they would touch your hand and make it active or something. Yeah. But that's what I had in mind.
Okay.
Like, do we sit and someone works on us one-on-one or something?
Yeah.
But when I was told that it's actually like a session where people from different places come, and we just we sit down, and then there is this facilitator, kind of like a person who arranges the whole thing. They so I was really excited to go and like hear what it was about.
What did you expect to get out of it?
So after I heard about KAP, I went and looked. I received some videos on what it would look like.
Yeah.
And seeing it on tape is it's like scary, you know. Like you see the people.
Yeah.
They're moving, you know, and it's like, is this normal? Is this natural? Like, are they like being possessed by something? Or like it looked like there were exorcism, you know? Yeah, it did. It like I've shown people afterwards, like, do you know KAP? And they're like, no, what is that? And I showed them, and they're like, this is exorcism, 100%, 100%.
Right.
Yeah. So I was really like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I want something new. I want a new, like I've done ayahuasca, I've done like 5-meo DMT, and I was like, I'm really interested in. I was just interested openly to see the different experiences, because I've done the Bufo 5-meo DMT, and that was really scary. But afterwards, it's like, whoa, I'm still alive, so it's okay, you know. And if it's a guided thing, and people, you know, it's like really. Like time invested in this, so it's not gonna not gonna die or something.
Do you think if you didn't have those experiences with ayahuasca, that you would be able to trust these exorcism kind of things?
Well, with ayahuasca, is you go fully unconscious, and you enter your mind, and there's no body movement involved that intensely. Yeah. And with Bufo, the 5-meo one, it's the same. You're fully it's like you lose conscious, like you fall and then you experience things inside your head. But with this, it was like no psychedelics, no nothing. It's just you laying down, closing your eyes, and like feeling your body. And I'm like, how does that work? How can you even it was a totally new concept to me. I'm like, how does that even work? Like, I'm definitely gonna move my body intentionally to create some hype.
You already planned it.
Yeah, I was like, it's gonna happen. Like, how else will my body move if I'm not possessed?
Yeah. So you had no perception of the kundalini energy?
No. I didn't know. I knew about chakras, and you hear about them in movies, whatever. But that they actually do exist and you can unlock them, that was like. But there is no scientific proof that it happens.
I remember when I first went to KAP and I started going to KAP, and I showed the video to somebody in church. They were like, oh my god, when I look at this, I feel so afraid.
But you know,
like, what is she doing to you? Oh my god, it looks so scary.
But especially the snake part, like the snake is recognized as something evil in church and in any religion. It's like the snake, you know, the snitch, they don't say, shedding the skin, like many animals, you know, the lizard can shed its skin.
In normal culture, religion, it's like the deceiver, the ones
the Judas, you know,
the one that poisons you.
So of course, like if your symbol is the snake, and people are moving, keep believing that they're healing you. They're just,
So you decided to go to KAP with me because you were open to experience something new.
Yeah. I wanted, like most of the time, I use my mind to like understand things and like find reason or find like through intellect. And this concept was all body. You had to stop thinking. So to me that was like, whoa, all I have to do is lay there and not think, and things will happen. Like, will I be moving like those people? So those were the expectations, you know.
So tell me about your first session. How it was for you?
Well, I was very cautious and a bit anxious. Like, I had no idea what to expect. I saw the videos, but obviously people kept going. So, like
I think you thought everybody was gonna do one-on-one session work with the facilitator, right? That there was not like this group setting.
Well, maybe group setting, but like each one gets their own time. Kind of thing. Yeah, because I was like, I didn't understand the concept of there being a non-dual force that is distributed through this facility. I didn't know the facilitator stood for what they stood for. I thought they were just, you know, them in their own conscious mind, doing things like a shaman or something, you know.
So your first session, what did you experience?
So when I sat there and then the facilitator started explaining, like, you know, don't open your eyes, lay down, feel your body, breathe. I was like, okay, it's like a meditation, kinda. It's like when you sit down and meditate. But then she's like, there's heavy music and you'll hear screams and don't get distracted. I was like, how can I not get distracted? You know? Like people are like, if someone screams really loud, I'm gonna be not being able to focus on myself. So I was like just like breathing and being like, okay, just allow it, you know, like I'll figure it out once we go through it. So and then we lay down.
1 second. Go ahead. We lay down.
We lay down, and then the music started, and then like I could hear footsteps. So obviously the facilitator was moving around, and she wasn't coming to me. So I was like wondering, what is she doing, or what are they doing? And I was like still in my mind, like trying to decipher the state I'm in, like what's happening, where am I? So I didn't know what was going on, so let's focus on my body. So there was no movement. So I was like trying to force movement by whatever my mind told me to. Like my mind says I want to move my hand, I would move my hand. My mind would say, okay, like I want to try lifting my leg up, I would do that. So I would just listen and not act rashly, you know, like move all at once, but like just impulses. So I would go off that, even though it was mind driven. I was like, I have nothing else, what can I do? I can't just sit still, mindless, and expect my body to move. So I was not a believer in that. Still not. But, so I heard people had involuntary movements, which made me very jealous, because I couldn't do that.
Watch out, because it will.
I couldn't do that. You know, I couldn't just allow my body to move on its own. So I still have to figure that part out. You know, but the breathing thing helps. Like if you just come back to center and breathe. There will be small twitchings and move, but not the big scale ones. And you know, the ego really wants to go big, you know.
So were you disappointed that nothing happened in the first session?
Well, nothing happened involuntary, but a lot happened voluntary. Like, I decided to move.
Right.
Through impulses, but like with the help of my mind, I moved.
Right.
Which what I was looking for is to move completely hands-free. Don't trigger the mind to make my body move.
So you thought my session will be successful if I will have involuntary movements.
Yeah.
That's the point of the session.
Yeah, like from my point of view.
Right, back then.
If I just lay down and I just focus on my breathing and no mind is happening, and then I wanted to feel like I was possessed by my own body.
Why would you want that?
By my own body, not by an external being. It's just my body coming to life.
Yeah.
As I'm laying there, like aware, not thinking, but still awake, and I wanted my body to get life and start moving,
right,
dancing, whatever. And I was just in awe, whoa, So that didn't happen, which was a bummer. What else didn't happen? I didn't get visions or any any flashes or photos or pictures or any visuals.
So you felt disappointed?
Yeah, like from two sides, because I was just closing my eyes like this.
Yeah.
And just I sat there.
A lot of people have those experiences in the beginning. Like our facilitator, she also told us that at her first session when she went, she paid 50 euros and then she had just cramps in her belly, and she thought did I just pay 50 euros to have cramps in my belly for 1 hour?
I don't think that, because I felt like I learned that I had a lot to learn.
Okay.
Like I needed to go further, because obviously some people were experiencing those
right
things. So
there was space to grow.
Yeah, like if everyone was having the same difficulty, then
they can't be faking it.
Well, not on that scale.
Right.
Where they go, some go really mental. They're crazy, but it's just movement, just sound. And the music was good, loud, so you could really. It was not too loud, because if you really made a loud noise, everyone would hear it. But loud enough to, if you saw whispering or just normally talking, no one could hear you say anything.
Yeah.
So I was also very conscious of the people around me, though I didn't know them, which gave me less anxiety to make noise. But it was, some things were still I don't wanna even attempt.
So when you went back home, what feeling did you go away with?
Well, voluntary or involuntary movement or sounds.
Yeah.
What happened there did free something inside me. Yeah, because whether it was on impulse that I spoke or screamed or moved, or my body did it on its own, something did happen.
Right.
And also, during the KAP sessions, the energy through the facilitator did reach me.
Talk more about that, how it feels when the facilitator touches you.
It feels very light, and it carries a lot of energy. And
is it pleasant?
Yeah, because whenever you're going through some kind of block,
right,
or anything that's not flowing nicely, and you're moving nicely, but you're or something is stuck, then that energy touches you and it releases that blockage. So then you feel and then you can go and play further with whatever you have. So it does really release. It's like a helping hand, It's like you're all alone in the darkness, and then this one point of light reaches you, and then you're not alone anymore.
Yeah.
And it expands the light and frees you from the darkness in that moment.
You also had an experience where when she touched you, your stomach began to hurt a lot, right?
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Well, this was on the third session.
On the third session.
Yeah. So so the first session was all about observing and like feeling, having a feel for it, like faking it a little bit, you know,
Okay.
so that I just like if I'm just gonna lay there and have nothing, I might as well just like give it a pat on the back and do some some voluntary movements,
Yeah. Pretend to blend in.
Yeah. The second one, I was like, I'm done with the like. I better feel something, and I was like a little bit cocky.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in there. I'm like stubborn, cocky. Like I'm not gonna move. Like the first one. Like I'm tired of like doing things myself. I paid. So I better get some value out of this.
Yeah.
So then nothing happened.
Nothing at all.
Not nothing at all. I was still like here and there, moving myself,
Yeah.
but like nothing on its own.
Yeah. Nothing on its own.
So I kept it to a minimum. I'm like, I don't feel like moving too much.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit here and reflect on what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing happened basically.
The days between your first session and your second session, did you already start to notice a difference?
Just this less weight on my mind. Like this weightless feeling, like that I could just be outside and not care about my surroundings and just be there. And I still had like shortcomings, but I knew they were there. But the majority of it came from this anxious feeling and just not feeling pleasant in my skin. But after that, there was some release. It was still there, but like I could feel it was less. Yeah, I was like more upfront with people after that. Feelings that I kept in started coming out, like just like when a cup overflows and then starts spilling.
Yeah,
that's what I was feeling. Like all that emotion broke free.
Yeah,
and now it's spilling bit by bit.
Yeah.
Not all at once.
You were becoming conscious of whatever was being suppressed, and it was
Yeah,
consciously
because,
manifesting
yeah,
itself.
some things I was like shocked.
Yeah.
Like whoa, like I said that or I did that.
Like what?
Like my feelings towards my partner.
Yeah.
Some things like I can't say this; it's gonna hurt her feelings, you know, or I can't say this, or it'll trigger a fight. So I just want to avoid that.
Yeah.
But then I started saying things and explaining why I said the things, not just leaving her in heat and anger.
Yeah.
And then she would understand. I was like, wow, like, since when did I gain such vocabulary to explain what I felt?
Yeah.
So I started feeling and becoming in tune with what I was feeling more.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really great. So, what made you decide to go 3 times?
Well, I heard that like after 3, 4, 5 times, the whole activation process is complete, and then it's all about integration, you know, and what you do with it afterwards once the energy is active. So I was like, I have to at least go through like 5 sessions.
Yeah.
Like if it happens at 3, fine. If it happens, but it's 5, and then I'll see from there, navigate. You know, if it doesn't happen at 5, I'll keep going until it's successful.
Yeah.
But I had no way of knowing if it was fully active or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So even if I went through 5 and maybe it was active, I wouldn't know.
Right. So you had like this intention, like, so the facilitator said, you go 3 to 5 sessions, and then you're activated, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do that at least, and then make a judgment about it. So if I'm correct, you've gone 3 times now, right?
Yeah.
How was the 3rd time? You went 3 times in a week. It was like
I went
Monday,
like a Sunday, and then we went Wednesday, and then a Friday.
Right.
Yeah, it was like really 3 times in 1 week.
Right.
Yeah.
How was the 3rd time?
Well, the 3rd time, I was a bit more comfortable, you know, because the first time was thinking, the second time was trying to surrender, but still being like stubborn to have it my way. So it wasn't surrendering at all, if anything. And the 3rd time, I was like, well, I had the worst. I didn't move. If I don't move again today, like, I've seen it coming, you know, like, fine.
Yeah.
So I could, like, I'll stop caring about that one, And in the beginning I moved a lot myself.
You moved a lot yourself.
Yeah, so I'm done with that too. I'm just gonna lay there and do the same thing I did the second time I went. Just now I'll release it a little bit, not hold too much. Like, don't hold it accountable for what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
It's not,
Don't blame the energy.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna lay there and just feel my body, breathe. If I have to keep just breathing, I'll keep breathing.
Yeah.
And if nothing happens, nothing happens. I was like, it's fine, Like, if it's not for me, it's not for me.
Just gonna park my car here and see whether it will work or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then as the music starts, before the music starts, I was really also, like, when they do the demos.
The demo, yeah.
Yeah, I get inspired by those. Like it inspires me, like, to explore my movements.
Great.
So when people with intense energy start moving like crazy, like jump and run and start dancing and stand up, like, I like that. I like seeing that. It means I can also one day have that expression.
Yeah.
And be free,
Yeah.
With my mind.
Yeah.
So it's, for me, like, I was like really intensely watching them doing so, and like learning the movement, like, oh, they're like, partly because my ego wanted to mimic the movement.
Right.
Like, I could do the bridge.
Yeah.
I'll do it right now. You know?
Yeah. Because she said I couldn't do the bridge, and then during the session I could do the bridge.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah,
I want to do that as well.
Yeah. So, perfect movement. Like, I'm a bit on the heavy side, but like, if perfect movements, like, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So when I lay down and the music starts and it's very loud, and the music really triggers you, like, in whatever way is pleasant for you or unpleasant. Because some people I know, they just wanted to sit and relax.
Yeah.
And some people wanted to have a rave party and scream and shout and
have orgasms.
But you could see afterwards a different concept. Like, some people thought like I was just gonna relax and chill, and then all of a sudden the guys over here started moving, and I had to. So they had struggles with that.
Yeah.
So they need to figure that out for themselves.
Yeah.
But I found it pleasant the third time. It was also a special day. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, 1st of April.
Yeah.
It was like a certain constellation with the moon.
Yeah, and there were a lot of people too.
Yeah.
Usually it's around 10, and now it was 20 people. And I was like, whoa, there's gonna be a lot of energy here. The facilitator was very active and energetic, So that was really nice. And it's just the movement. Like, you feel it also on the ground when you lay down, and you feel that the others are moving and they're also having a great time, and it just moves you as well, So if someone makes noises, you can be really inspired and start making the same noise, and it gives you a voice, It's like finally someone stood up for themselves. I'm really grateful to that, and I'm gonna stand up to myself and start expressing myself the way I want to.
How would you describe the facilitators?
Yeah, they have this soft demeanor, very warm and gentle, very friendly, welcoming. I don't know, it's like, am I being fooled? Do they really want to help me? You get that feeling, like, I want to trust them with my life, like, because it's like you're in a trance and they're doing that thing, like, and you're the instrument, So I felt like at home, comfortable.
They have like this very special feminine, gentle quality about them. They're all very beautiful, and they're very gentle in their feminine, and they're very inviting. I like how grounded they are, but they also set this mood that we're all coming together. It's almost like a motherly invitation. Like, I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna guide you through this. I really like that. Yeah. But on the third session, like the facilitator, she did something to your belly, which was very unexpected. Tell me about that.
I didn't expect that either, because even though I was like, I'm gonna allow it, and I was still doing things my way.
Right.
Like it's just the third time. Like I need 30 or something before. But like I was still like gonna force it. Some things, you know, and I was getting really tired. You know, like after some, like I wanted to last the whole thing through, and just move. But I don't have the stamina for it.
Right.
So even like there were times I wanted to attempt the bridge and I couldn't. You know, I was like, damn it, you lied. You said perfect bridge. You know. It was so funny. Like,
Yeah.
you said perfect bridge. Like, why am I not nailing it? And I'm doing it. I'm really struggling, and I'm like, God damn it, you know, like my back hurts, you know. Like, so I go back, you know, and then there was this anger, so I released it and I started stampeding on the floor, you know,
remember
like
that.
because of that struggle.
I remember that.
Because I couldn't do the.
Yeah.
I was like a kid, didn't get his chocolate.
Nice.
You know? I was like, fuck this, and I was like, yeah. People were afraid, man. They were next to me. They're like, it was you, like that. But.
And then you screamed also.
Yeah.
And you said at a certain point, "I love you all."
Yeah. I don't know what happened, man. Like,
and I remember this one time when she came to your belly with the finger.
So, let me recall. I was feeling that from the bridge. I came down.
Mm-hmm.
Then she didn't come visit me again. Like the energy didn't come through. So, like maybe I was having a good time and I didn't have any blockages.
Yeah.
But then at a certain drum beat or music note or whatever, I was feeling very much a struggle inside my abdomen area, and like I was like suffocating kind of, you know, like
Wow.
like really like
Okay.
yeah, and I was like bending upwards like this, you know, like with my belly up, and I was like really, my hands were like all open, like really in distress.
Yeah.
And then the energy came and she pressed her, like just her fingertips, like inside the abdomen area. And luckily I didn't eat a lot, you know, I kept it very, very low.
Right.
So she pressed,
Right.
which was already painful.
Yeah.
And then I was like releasing whatever, I don't know, like I was screaming from the pain, like oh, but not in a frightening way, but like in a relieving way. Like,
Okay.
you know, like pain relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She put pressure on something that was hurting, and it was like this dissolving.
But there was pressure here.
Yeah.
That's the abdomen.
Yeah.
She pressed even further on that pressure itself, and then went like really tried to nail me to the floor.
Yeah,
you know, like,
the energy went through.
I don't know if it was the energy or it was her fingers that were that strong.
Okay.
Like they were that strong.
Okay.
Because she apologized in the end.
Okay.
Like she really she went then both hands, you know, and she like really like.
Yeah.
And I could feel my belly going like this, like she was pressing.
Yeah.
But beneath the like between the bladder and the stomach, like that empty area, she was really pressing in a nice place. I didn't have any pain, but a lot of pressure. Like, and then when she that energy, I guess, went through, or her fingers went through, and she released, like I felt this immediate, like really, like emptiness inside my stomach, like yeah, it was crazy. It was like a bucket full, and she just like emptied it, and now you have an empty. Here you go.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, and I was like so happy, you know. In that moment. And then she came, like the energy came and like touched my third eye as well. And that was so pleasant. There was light, and there was
So you had an experience.
Just light.
Yeah.
Like the dimmed state became luminous.
Yeah.
But not like flashes or anything.
What was your reaction when you had that? Like, oh my god, it's happening! It's happening!
Yeah. So she did that, and when she pressed on my head, and after she released me, and then she went away.
Yeah.
Then my body went in this shock state, and I started shivering like every inch of my body. Like,
right.
I was like really vibrating on the table, like on the ground. Yeah. I think through that vibration, I switched positions, and the mat is like this, and I went and laid
sideways,
like this, because I was like, moving, and I didn't notice that because I really thought I was laying straight.
Yeah.
So when I woke up and afterwards, I was like, whoa, like what happened? Because then, like, after I did the stamping thing with my feet, and then the energy visited me, there was no mind. I couldn't, like, from that point on, I wasn't thinking because too many things were happening. I couldn't think, and I could only feel what was happening.
So you were having energetic experiences, and you were beyond the thinking process. You were in the experience.
Yeah.
So you broke through.
Yeah. So then, I started laughing. I like, what ridiculousness is this? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, whoa, something happened. I didn't know it was like activation process. Just like, whoa, did she do this something? Is this witchcraft or something?
Right.
Like, because on my own I couldn't trigger this.
Right.
And then the energy visited, and then it triggered.
Right.
So I was not too happy about it. I wanted, like, it to be activated on my own without help. Right. Without
How
external...
can I have this all the time without...
Yeah, or at least during the camp sessions, but on my own. Like, I don't need you to visit me and aid me. I'm not that desperate.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
I don't need help.
You don't want to be dependent on the facility.
Well, help is great, but
what do you think of the sharing that we do at the end?
Well, it's nice to hear all the different experiences. Like, we were 20-ish, so it was really nice because we went through everyone, and then you have really different states of minds. Some people were having a blast, they were singing. Some people were in deep sea making whale noises. Some people were having ecstasy and having deep orgasms. Some people just went into this dark place and couldn't really enjoy the process and don't want to talk about anything. It was sad, but like, they'll have to come again. If they break it right there and then they'll have to deal with it the rest of their life. So they have to go back, figure that out. So then it just gives you like a feeling, especially the ones who are very experienced in it. They have like a lot to tell. Like, I went here, it's like they visited the whole realm and went to a different one while you were just struggling with your feet. So hearing those different perspectives, you're like, there is something real in this, and there is something to gain from this. Like, I could level up, and also have those experiences.
Did you at some point think that these people are just tripping on music?
What I thought, I'm like, man, they're all on this. The so-called experienced ones are being paid to pretend they're like that. They're all like promoting this thing, making the normal average Joe pay. And like, don't worry, after 30 times you're gonna be there, like,
so let me ask you about that. When somebody is experienced or somebody has gone through a lot, and during the sharing, like, for instance, I tend to share a lot, right? I tend to say a lot. And sometimes after doing my sharing, I notice that some people feel dismayed. They have this feeling like, oh, my process wasn't as good as his, so it failed, it didn't work.
They reflect,
and some people feel like then, like, oh, the value of my process is not, it wasn't as good as his, so it didn't work. Obviously it didn't succeed. And some people are like, wow, if this is what he's going through, then like I can also like, they're inspired because like, I want to come back as soon as possible because I want to go through his experiences as well. How do you think that affects, like, for somebody who has like those kind of deep experiences, do you think it's beneficial for them to share those? Or do you think it may be discouraging to people?
No, I think they should be as open as possible and just tell everyone what they were experiencing, but at least give them some kind of courage that it could happen to them as well. By telling, because experienced people really love to talk about all the good stuff that happened.
Right.
But they forget the struggle they also went through.
Right.
In the beginning, and it didn't go their way, and they had to pay a lot of money also. It's not They committed. That's the difference. Yeah. So sometimes it's forgotten to tell them that maybe the first 5 sessions won't have that money movement. You won't have visions. You won't have involuntary movements. But stick with it. You know.
So, the 3rd session, when you went home, were you satisfied with what had happened?
It was just like whether something happened or not. I really loved the vibe that was present in that room.
Yeah.
Everyone was like in this party mood, like most of them, you know.
Yeah,
like
it was a party.
Like I'm not gonna say except the older generation, but like even some of them were like having a blast, and they couldn't participate maybe in the same movement, but they were like there, like swinging along and being like, this is nice. So I was like really having a fun in that.
Do you think it was money well spent?
Yeah, all 3 of them.
All 3 of them were well
because
spent.
you learn. How can I get to, like, if let's say the 3rd one was that good?
Yeah.
How could I get there if I didn't go through the first 2?
Right.
Because they teach you what you need to learn further along the way. So.
Which is? What did you learn?
To not depend on my mind in those situations, and to not give up. Like, just keep breathing, and like if nothing happens, nothing happens, you know. But don't stop and give up and be like, this sucks. Like, I'm just gonna lay here in this negative feeling and stay here till the session is done. Because some people did that. You know? But I don't want to do that. You know. I just want to keep open mind, and I'm also, some people really are hard to convince. They don't believe it. Yeah. And some are, and I'm one of those that, because I experienced Bufo and ayahuasca and other psychedelics, that was like very interested in this gathering with no psychedelics, nothing, no heavy cocaine in a,
but apparently
snorted, you know, but
as good as the psychedelics.
Even better sometimes.
Why better?
Because those with psychedelics force you into the states, and here you're going with just
full consciousness,
your own will. You're entering it,
and
you're there, nothing changed.
You don't get tipsy or unable to.
You feel like in meditation,
It's like when you do a lot of meditations, you can have mystical experiences at a certain points in your meditation, when you have like deep experiences. But with this, it's like once your energy is activated, you can have every session mystical experiences.
That's crazy, man.
And those mystical experiences, they're always so profound.
I'm surprised they don't charge more, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
How much would you charge?
Well, I wouldn't charge anything, but like, I'm just surprised. Like, I'm only talking about, like, sure, the new people can pay 50 because they don't know what to expect. But like, they should have like a system to tell if someone is fully activated or not. And if they know you're fully activated, they know what you can do with your body. Yeah. And those people need to be charged more.
Why?
Because they've went past a certain threshold of like playing with it, and now they know what this system can do. And like, they start abusing it for their, like.
Well, the good thing about KAP is you cannot really abuse it because you don't decide what happens.
I know, but I'd still charge them 100.
I understand, because the experience is so profound, and once you
they'll love to pay double,
of course. I did that. I did it a couple of times. There's one facilitator who charges double, but she has a certain kind of.
Well, I'd pay for that. If they keep it basic, lay on the normal mat that I just rented from here and there, drink some tea that I just brew for everyone, like simple stuff, but the effects of the session are the same as every other session, fine, 50 I'll pay. But if they add mood lights or whatever, and they have cushions for everyone to relax in, and
snacks,
and psychology lessons afterwards to really talk deeper, like one by one, and like have interaction moments between the people that are there, because they don't do that. Not everyone does. I don't think anyone does that. Really have the people interact too with each other, because you're.
But the facilitators are always open to like if you have any questions,
you know, they're
you can
so
always
busy,
reach
you know?
out. Yeah,
They're so busy. Yeah, they're busy. It's not like you're gonna catch them sip coffee and be like, let me join you and start talking and
So
stuff.
you've done 3 sessions, right?
Yeah.
How did your life change because of it? And what did you gain from it? What was the value for it? What was the value that you got from the 3 sessions?
My life didn't make major changes. What it did, like, uh, like all of a sudden, some certain habits went away.
Like what?
Yeah, like let's say I used to drink coffee since I was a young kid, and I've drank that every day.
Mm-hmm.
And there were times where I couldn't function without coffee.
Yeah.
And I had to have coffee every morning. If like at 5 in the morning, I had to drink coffee. Otherwise, I'd be so grumpy and angry. You know, I needed that caffeine rush.
Yeah.
And after KAP, I quit it in that one day.
Yeah.
And I haven't drank it in 3 weeks now.
Mm.
And I didn't feel any backlash from consuming it that long. You know, withdrawal symptoms with that. Yeah. Like some things like that, you know.
Food also
not everything.
changed.
Food it does change. Like all the unnecessary stuff, like really, really unnecessary, goes away.
What was the biggest benefit or the biggest thing that you got from it?
Just the trusting my feelings. Yeah, like a gut feeling. I sense it more now, even more. Not just glimpses. Like I can sense gut feeling. And I trust it, and it leads always to the right choice, you know. I don't have examples, but
I understand what you mean. Some people, they say like after KAP, I feel like I got centered. I feel at home again. I feel connected with myself, and it's like.
Just after, right after the session, there is this high energy in you, resonating.
Yeah.
And you just feel so like on
alive.
Top of the world,
right.
You know. You feel. Alive. Yeah, like I want to do anything and everything, you know. Yeah. Like I want to change my daily habits. I want to change my lifestyle. And then it decreases day by day.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, you know.
Like your last session was 2 weeks ago.
Well, it's like this. It's like either I blame myself for it and be like the decreasing happens either way, but it's what you do with it, and you could stick to the good things that changed in you and this and that. But you know, like I just allowed things to be as they want to be, and if bad habits started to come back, you know, like there's no way I could hold it.
Right.
Yeah. They'll find a way. You know. So that made me feel a bit like depressed, because I was like, whoa, look at me! I'm sliding right back into that downward spiral, and like I don't want to be I love KAP. I want to go a lot, but I don't want to be dependent on it.
Right.
And like, oh no, look at me! I'm going back down. Let me go do a KAP session and recharge. Like, I don't think that's what needs to be. That's not how what it stands for.
What do you think it has to be then?
I think once the energy is alive in you and it stays resonate, like active, then the levels don't decrease anymore.
So, if you have Amin before KAP, right?
Yeah.
And then Amin now, after 2 weeks not having KAP, what's the difference between those two?
Well, you know, there is a difference. The difference in understanding changed.
Can you explain?
No, I can't. But like understanding yourself.
You became conscious.
Yeah, like especially what the body wants.
Yeah.
It's stronger, you know. Like even though you let's say, before KAP, I was eating unhealthy and not feeling guilty about it. Now I feel like I'm really hurting my body.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Even though, like, let's say I start eating again bad stuff, like that pain will be there. Like it's now active and I can feel it. Like I'm actually harming it.
Yeah.
You know. It's like murdering an animal to eat it. You kill them and it's like you see the pain in them.
You feel grounded in your feelings.
Yeah.
And responsible. Like
yeah,
you have
that's
a
why
choice.
it hurts more now.
Yeah.
To have withdrawal symptoms and go back and relapse.
Yeah.
It hurts even more, you know, because you know why you try to escape them.
Yeah.
So now that they are slithering their way back in your life, it's like, oh damn it, you know. Like, what am I to do to have them gone forever, you know?
Yeah.
So
are you gonna go to KAP sessions? Still planning to go?
yeah, I have the intention to go. The 16th I'm gonna go for my 4th time, and then I'll see the schedule, because I have work, you know.
Yeah.
Like I work in shifts, and it's not easy to always plan.
So what kind of relationship do you want to have with KAP? If
for
KAP,
now,
yeah.
now, I don't know what kind of relationship I want KAP to evolve into.
Yeah, but
yet.
for now.
But for now, just a place where I feel home and safe, and release, build up emotions that I have accumulated in between sessions.
Right.
That's all.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Just that. Release it and then start anew. Go on, learn, integrate, go back, empty the bucket, and then go on.
Do you think this is as effective as normal therapy talking?
Well, it's funny that the moment I eventually decided to go to a real therapist,
right,
and I went one session, and then immediately after that KAP's door opened and I started knowing about KAP. So I quit going to the psychologist,
right,
because KAP has shown me benefits from the first session.
right.
And when I went to the therapist, they just had me talk a whole hour, and I paid them the same amount.
Right.
And when I told him, like, I looked him right in the eye, I'm like, therapy is just the soothing of the pain, and not the actual healing.
Yeah.
It just relieves you of the pain until it comes back, and then you have to go back.
Yeah.
But they can never do something like through the KAP energy.
No.
You know, the KAP energy does something to you and heals you.
Yes.
But they, as a human being, they can't do that.
No.
So I told, and he was like this, like really shaking his head, like, yeah, you're right, you know. And then I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, there's this. I study with a coach who does reconstructive work and transpersonal coaching, and he says he's the therapist himself for over 20-30 years, and he says, you know, most therapists, Gestalt therapy, talk therapy, all those therapies, they're building up the ego. They make the ego stronger.
Yeah.
They give you confidence. They learn how to work with your ego. But like practices where there's a deconstruction, or energetic practices like this, where it goes beyond the thinking mind, beyond the stories, into your feelings, into your energy, where something transcendent can happen. That's where real transformation can happen, not because you want it, but because you're open to it. You're open to this process. And that, I wouldn't say destroys the ego, but it helps to integrate the ego, makes the ego conscious and integrate. So if you have consciousness and you have the ego, when you're in those processes, the consciousness sees the ego, and there's like a conversation between the two, and they can be integrated. But if you're just stuck in the ego story, there's no real consciousness in it.
Yeah. And especially when I talked to him about spirituality, and like, he frowned upon that. I was like, what is that? And like, he couldn't be bothered to look it up. You know, he's just gonna say something to benefit me on a daily basis. And keep me busy, you know. I was like, I don't want that, you know.
Good for you.
Because he himself may struggle with his own.
Indeed.
And how is he gonna help me, a human being, a fellow human being, who also has worries?
I think this work, you have to be real courageous for this, because
not everyone wants it, man.
Not everyone wants it, and you know it's not always going to be pleasant, and it's in group. But I really like the group element. Because of the group, you can see everybody that's sitting here. This person across of me, he wants to heal, and he's here.
They are for something.
Because he wants to be happy.
To benefit themselves with.
We all want to be happy here, and we're all connected with that intention, and we're sharing this space collectively. And sometimes we have interaction with each other. I found it so magical. It was my first time that it happened. That during the session, which was with you, I was lying next to a girl, And at a certain point, I opened my eyes and I thought it was done. And I had this immense feeling to touch her shoulder. So I touched it. And then I really wanted to hug her, get up and hug her. But I saw she's moving, she's in the process. So I thought, my mind said, I don't want to interrupt her. I don't want to interrupt her process. It was fear, excuse to not get rejected. So I took her hand and I just held her hand. And afterwards, during the sharing, she told me, you know, at a certain point, I really wanted to get up and hug you. And I was like, what? I wanted that. And she's like, I felt so alone. I felt like sad. And you took my hand and I felt like it's all okay. Everything's fine. Like the energy was bringing us together and connecting us. And then after the session, we hugged for some time. And a week went past, or 2 weeks, and she sent me this message. She was like, you know, when you hugged me afterwards, I felt so safe and loved by you. And I'm so grateful to have shared that moment with you. It still resonates with me. I still feel it coming back. Yeah. And when she said that, I was so touched by it, because I'm like, wow, I never knew that by just being there and working with my own process, I would have a good impact on other people without my intention. Like the energy was also using. Yeah.
Especially during this sharing, maybe someone really is benefiting from what you said. That's why there is no oversharing, or you should be honest with what you experienced. And if it's not well received, well, it doesn't count forever. Some people really appreciate what you share, you know.
So how would you encapsulate or describe KAP to somebody who wants to go for the first time?
Man, right now going 3 times, I don't have that in me to really encourage. I wouldn't encourage anyone to go.
You wouldn't encourage?
No, they have to find it themselves, or like somehow hear about it, because I didn't look for it.
So if somebody is watching this video right now and they're like, so do you recommend doing this?
I'm sure some people that went to KAP never had any meditation background, or didn't do any ayahuasca or any psychedelics or nothing. They just did yoga maybe, and then they heard about this KAP thing, and then they so why not? They can. Anyone is welcome. They should go.
And you think people who are not interested in spirituality will have benefit in KAP?
Yeah, because it has nothing to do with spirituality.
Right.
It's all about feeling and your body and things that we suppress as human beings. You know?
Right.
You know, men and women. You know, they all do that.
Great.
It's, yeah. It has nothing to do with religion. It's just upbringing and conditioning. It's just,
There's this one story that I want to tell. It's this girl Nargis. So she did 3 KAP sessions.
Yeah.
And her first session, she didn't feel anything. Second session, she felt something in her belly. Third session, she had a nice experience like you. And then she went home, and the next day, she had in the shower, she had a kundalini explosion, and her energy was awakened. She felt a boundless energy in her body. And after that, her process of spirituality, of trying to be conscious, because she was a coach before that, her process went from being mental to I want to be conscious, I want to be like Eckhart Tolle, I want to be good. It went to energetically living in the process of consciousness. And 1 year later, she got self-realized. Right?
Cool story, man.
When I had my kundalini explosion and awakening, I used that energy to make up for everything that I never had. So I had a lack of power, a lack of feeling worthy, a lack of feeling important.
But I don't know how. I think for men and women it's different, man.
And so because of that, I used the energy of awakening to
that
pursue my own unfulfilled desires, to balance it. And I wasted years.
Yeah, but then you know that then you went through them and you have direct experience, and then you have an insight of that's not what I want really. And then now at least you put them aside. They're not something that dwell in your mind and you want to.
You know, the real special thing about this, I think, is you have a live guru. The non-dual intelligence, it guides you, or your own intelligence is guided. Because if you do everything on your own, it's very easy to fool yourself, to isolate yourself and say, I know it all, I can do it on myself, and close yourself off from the truth. But if you go to a KAP session, you will always be confronted with the next piece of truth that you need to see and process.
Because honestly, even though the people are there, you're all alone in that process. You're really on your own, and like especially the first session, I was like, please come and visit me and help me. You know, like I was actually begging the facilitator, like to or the energy to please visit me. And they, you know, sometimes they wouldn't come for a long time. You know, like 30 minutes. You're sitting there. It's like, am I doing something wrong? Why aren't they friendly to me? You know?
Right.
Like, did they notice that I've been faking it? Yeah. But you know, like I don't know, like that I don't know. I don't know if the energy really can read minds, you know, and know if someone is faking it and not. But, you know, I got visited, so yeah.
But so since the two weeks that have passed since your last session, you do notice that your frequency lowers and your
but the understanding stays.
The understanding stays.
Yeah, it's just that pleasant, happy, like energy. Yeah.
Feeling alive.
It goes away.
Yeah, it goes away.
It starts becoming dimmer and dimmer. Yeah, but the overall, what you gain from there in terms of knowledge and feelings and understanding and the release also is permanent. Yeah, it's just that demeanor, that feeling high goes away.
I think you've become more self-expressive in your truth.
Yeah, but I was already self-expressive, but certain things I would hold back. Yeah, because I'd feel like it's not gonna be understood well. People are gonna interpret it this way, and not the way I want. I want them to understand it. So I let that go. So it's fine. It's open to interpretation.
Last question: if you could ring Amin now before he goes to his first session, what would you tell him?
I would tell him to go all in, empty his life savings, do extra work, you know, earn more money to spend it on KAP. Go to KAP, man. Every day, twice a day, you know. Go to KAP.
What would you instruct him for the session itself?
I wouldn't say anything because I want him to be surprised by the first session.
Nice.
Because looking KAP up before you go and starting really triggers your mind and you start becoming very wary and afraid and like, you know, like. But if you have never seen those movements in people and you're sitting there and you see the demo, you're like, what? You know, the demos are like everyone is still standing there, sitting there, and they choose like specific people to showcase the experience. Yeah. And for people, it is startling, you know, like, oh, what the fuck?
Do you remember when you saw me screaming all of a sudden?
Yeah, but you already told me that what happened, so it was not surprising.
Right.
It was a surprise in like it actually happening live. That was but not as a big surprise I could have had if I didn't know anything. Yeah. But we were in a rush that day too. We were late and so I was already, because of that rush, I had no time to think about it and be like, man, I'm afraid. It was like a chase after the KAP session.
Do you have any last words or advice?
Yeah, pee before you enter the KAP session. Yeah, go pee.
And
empty your bladder. Don't eat before.
Right.
I didn't. I'm happy I didn't. But some people had a big meal, you know, like a cheat meal, like you know, like burgers or whatever, and they went there, and I don't advise that. You know? Because you'll trap yourself in your body, and you won't have any nice times. Yeah. Just keep it light, fast, water or light, you know, light meals, so that you can perform. You feel sharper when you have an empty stomach. Yeah. Because whenever I overate, I'd feel so tired, I'd sleep. I would have actually slept. Yeah. If I ate too much.
Even with the loud music.
Yeah, I would have been gone, man. Yeah. Snoring and everything. Yeah. But spend all your money on KAP, man. Spend all your money on KAP.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Really interesting.